Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Force here with game number 2 between QXC and Daisy. This time we are on the map Calm Before the Storm. Spawning over here in the lower right-hand spawn position, our red Protoss player is ESC Daisy, and his opponent in the upper left-hand spawn position, the purple Terran player QXC. This is game number 2 here in the series. Daisy ends up winning game number 1. This time we are on the map Calm Before the Storm. If you haven't seen it, I'll show you a quick look around in just a moment. But first, let's start off with a recap of last game. Daisy, 4-gate, proxy, hidden. Just using a bunch of single words here. With the hidden 4-gate there from Daisy, was able to overwhelm QXC. He was not prepared at all now. QXC with some early Marauder aggression got into Daisy's main and got a full scout of what was going on. All he saw was that one gateway in the cyber core. Of course, you need to immediately assume at that point in the game and not seeing anything that something else is going on. QXC, realizing, okay, something's happening, comes out with a Reaper Scout follow-up. Now, I didn't end up actually tracking the Reaper Scout in that game, but you saw through QXC's vision that he was able to scout into Daisy's base. Daisy killed the Reaper off eventually with a Stalker, but nevertheless, QXC moved back in and saw that there was nothing again. He also saw that there was no expansion at the natural. So of course that tips QXC off that something is going on. He places 2 bunkers at the front of his natural expansion, but that wasn't enough because Daisy pushed out with a sentry heavy 4-gate, utilizing the fact that Guardian Shield really cuts back on the early damage of Terran players, also with a couple of force fields preventing bunker repairs. Daisy quite easily mopped up the early frontal defense there of QXC, also took out his orbital command that he had at his natural expansion, and then that was it from that point forward. I mean, Daisy just continued to muscle his way through to take that victory. This game, we are seeing a very quick expansion here from our Protoss player. That was kind of funny. He pulled all of his probes off the line for a minute. Very quick expansion from Daisy, following it up now with the gateway. Scouting SCV checking lower left. Going to be another moment or two until he realizes that Daisy has expanded as early as he has. Now we're also seeing a quick expansion from QXC. Take a look here though. These are hidden expansion. Well, not so much hidden, but they are in the back of the main base here. One of the key features of this map. QXC getting that full wall off there with the second barracks early on is going to deny scouting from Daisy when and if he eventually moves out with a probe, although I'm not too sure he's even going to do that. He might just chill back and wait till he gets an observer scout. But yeah, nothing yet here from Daisy. Here comes that SCV scout now moving into the main, and so he will of course move down and check this position. Seeing that there still isn't a cyber core and that gateway came so late, there it is, confirms the expansion. So both players with a quick expansion. Very popular on this map, just because it's so effective with a hidden expansion right in back of your main base. Makes it nice and easy to protect. You only have to worry about protecting that front ramp there. Of course, you have to worry about drops and stuff, but that comes a little bit later down the road. Nothing you need to immediately worry about early on. So yes, let's take a quick perusal around the map real quick. Both players at this point really are just going to be macroing up, getting workers to try to saturate their quick expansions, and that's pretty much it. We are seeing some actually 2 racks aggression here from those Marines before they get there. All right, let's go ahead and look at that. So there's the main base, the expansion tucked away in back of the main there, and then right out front you've got that normal natural expansion in this position. A little bit of a wide entrance into that as well. There's a Zelnaga tower in the center of the map. Besides that, there's also expansions hidden in the lower left. Now these are temporarily delayed there by those destructible rocks, but nevertheless they do exist. And besides that, it is just mirrored in the other 3 positions here of the map, and that is that. Probe Scout now finally moving out here for Daisy, checking upper right, then moving into upper left, at which point he will be finding QXC's main base. Daisy now coming out with a Zealot Stalker and following it up with a Sentry Warp Gate Research. About halfway done as well. Also coming out with a Twilight Council, which he does have over here. So Daisy's Twilight Council tucked away in the back over there. Back over here for QXC, still just those double barracks pumping out Marines. Now finally coming out with a Tech Lab for this one, and another barracks coming through. So again, early on, both players just getting their workers and trying to saturate those quick expansions there. No more scout. Looks like the scout probe did get taken out in this position here for Daisy, so we ended up losing that. One of these Marines was lucky enough to get that kill. There, that guy right there. Congratulations, you win the prize. Nothing really. Couple more gateways coming out over here for Daisy. And And now that this Twilight Council is finished, follows it up with a Dark Shrine, so early DT here from Daisy. Very interesting. Also a Robotics coming out as well. Just getting a little grab bag here, a little bit of everything for Daisy early on. These two things together tip me off to the fact that we'll probably be seeing a DT drop. Also a couple of Forges coming out here for Daisy to start getting those upgrades as well. A little Marine push now moving forward. This Sentry is going to delay that quite a bit. He has started to accumulate some energy. It's going to be long enough, though. This is actually going to be a pretty good push here from QXC, because this could very well force Daisy to come out with some sentries, which is not what he wants to do. He's trying to save up there for the Dark Templar. Wants to try to save as much Vespian as possible. So that's concerning, actually. It's going to be a pretty strong push. Sentry now lacks the energy to come out with another force field. That was enough to force QXC back. Oh, QXC was assuming that more sentries were going to come, and actually they did in fact come. Daisy didn't even need those because the bio has pushed back for QXC. Now he is moving out there with that War Prism. So we'll be starting that DT harass shortly. Now I do wonder, did QXC scan back here as well? No, we did not. Did not see that DT coming through. Also not spotting those Forges with the double upgrades. 1-1 upgrades coming out here for Daisy. We have some upgrades also for QXC, Stim Pack, and the level 1 weapons upgrade coming through. QXC heading back to his main with all of his forces here. He's concerned something's going to happen. Did he check the Robo? That's my next question. Did he spot the Robo? Yeah, he did spot the Robo, so he's really concerned about a drop, but he still doesn't know about the Dark Templar. And not saving up energy. Uh-oh. Look at that. So these DT are going to be able to start off doing some damage here. One tucked away in that position. Here come those two. Forcing the Warp Prism back now. The Dark Templar damage has begun. Immediately goes straight for those turrets there. One turret down here. That Dark Templar's not going to last long. This guy starts getting some kills there. 3 kills already. This guy's got 5 at the moment. That Dark Templar gets taken out. An Observer also moving across the map. He's continuing to get some kills, sitting at 7 now. This DT, 6. Gonna have enough energy for a scan in just a moment. So let's see if Daisy just decides to push back. Gets that DT right there. That guy's still got 7. Scan will be coming in a second. Oh, never mind, doesn't need it. Missile turret right there gives him enough cloak detection range. And that is it. All right, so QXC has successfully defended. Now let's take a look, though. How many resources lost? QXC a little bit behind right now. It also has lost 8 workers. Gonna try to stop this from finishing. That'd be huge. Doesn't get it. Very close to taking out that tech lab. Not able to do it, though. It's gonna force a repair, which will cost QXC some resources there. Daisy, in the meantime, has come out with another base. That's his 3rd right there. And we don't have another orbital yet for QXC. He's a little bit too distracted there by everything that's going on. Also making his way up here to the double medevacs out of the starport. He'll be doing that hot swap with that factory in just a moment. Still do have this Warp Prism back here, so we do want to keep an eye on that just in case we see another drop of DT or something else, even just a Zealot drop into the main. Could do some damage, of course. Push coming across the map right now for QXC. Marines and Marauders, that is it. No medevacs yet. Has also started building his next command center to get ready to push out and take a 3rd. Daisy transitioning here into Colossus. Thermal Lance now finishing just in time. He's also got a couple sentries for some force fields. We'll see, though. We do have Stim Pack and Combat Shield. It's a lot of DPS. 2nd Colossus comes in just in the nick of time. He's going to be all set here. No problemo, he says. Force field walls trapping these units, also out of the range of the Colossus, and the Colossus just do work. 6 kills, 11 kills, look at that, just demolished. Great transition and defense there by Daisy. QXC, that was unfortunate. You know, even just having those medevacs would have helped. The problem is, though, had he waited for those medevacs, would have been delayed, so. He's got a factory scout chilling out over here. Wants to see if any Warp Prism drops come from this direction. I'm just assuming that that is the case. Another expansion coming out for Daisy. Daisy is going to be taking a strong economic lead here. Continues to macro up. He's got the 3-3 upgrades now researching. 4 more gateways coming through as well. So far, things not looking too good for QXC. We take a look at resources lost, and he is definitely behind right now. 2,800 as opposed to 3,400 there. Moving down now with his third, also coming out with a few bunkers as some defense. We do have a medevac moving out. Looks like he's going to completely miss this expansion, though. A hidden expansion for Daisy.
We could use some help here.
We have an attempted drop over here. That gets handled, though. And that medevac, yes, misses everything. Misses that hidden expansion. See if these guys are scouting for that, though. That'd be good. That would be a much-needed little victory there for QXC. QXC can't drop over here. Still going to try to drop over here at the natural expansion position. That'll get quickly lifted off, though, as Colossus come down to try to take care of that.
Base is under attack.
Drop over here, doing some damage. Won't be too long, though, before that gets lifted off as well. Yep, TT plus Zealots force that to lift off. And QXC not able to do too much there with that. Are seeing a transfer of workers here, and now that hidden expansion is going to start to come into effect here as Daisy works to get that saturated. And that's going to give him a strong lead. A couple of photon cannons for defense, as well as this Dark Templar is going to help a lot against potential drops. Drop attempted again. Photon cannon plus the forces prevent that. And yeah, it looks like QXC nothing doing there with those drops. Once more, that's unfortunate. He definitely wanted those to do something. Only behind now 500 resources, though, so has done some damage. Killed 4 workers, all told. Where's that second medevac? There's that one, and this one right here still trying to do something, but nothing doing. All right, now focus on upgrades. Blink finishing. 3-3 upgrades finishing. How about you, QXC? What are you sitting at? You're sitting at 1-1. 2-2 is coming through. Also, the ship level 1. Those Vikings, of course, used to counteract the Colossus that we are seeing from Daisy. DT in the center of the map now with 4 kills. Observer Scout still dancing around. This hidden expansion, huge, 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 huge. That QXC has not scouted that. That is very unfortunate. A simple drop really could devastate in that position. This drop, speaking of which, gets prevented. Now just 1 Marine left in that. A drop, you know, right here, could snipe that Nexus pretty quick. Some Marauders, but nothing doing. Oh, QXC losing the medevac. Ouch. Didn't even try to pull away with that either. Sonic Storm research coming out here for Daisy. More Colossus, another Robotics also coming out. Coming out with 4 more gateways now that he has this hidden expansion up and running. He's got the economy to support it. Medevac dies to a cannon. At least though, at least now QXC knows about that expansion, so. See if he does anything about it this time. Realizing that his position has been given away, Daisy is coming out with another photon cannon over here at that ramp. QXC scanning above his forces. Did he take out the observer? No, I don't think so. That one right there. Here comes the push. Lots of Vikings in play. Now again, he is only on 2-2 upgrades. Also transitioning into Ghost. At the moment, sitting with 4 with 2 more in production. Weapons level 3 coming out. Also personal cloaking there for the Ghost, allowing him to move forward undetected and try to get some EMPs and snipes off before Daisy can respond. Now once more, Daisy does know that this position has been given away, and he's moving up here as he's taking another expansion. We do have QXC pushing forward towards this position. Question then becomes, what will Daisy do in response? How will he defend? What is his decision at this point? Is he just going to sack this expo? Bit of bio now moving up. That is more than enough to take this out quickly. This still chilling out. Nothing from him. There it is. Look at that. Stemmed up bio, like I mentioned. Just take that Nexus right out. Now we got some forces sitting over here while a gigantic push is moving across the map here for Daisy. QXC trying to hustle his way back home to defend. Oh no, Vikings got out of position. Blink Stalker is able to do some damage. Here come those Colossus as well. We have those High Templar. Should be seeing some Storm on top of those Vikings. There it is. Colossus is going to try to do it again before they get taken out. Vikings down to just the 1. Stalkers take out the rest. We still have a pretty formidable force here. Zealots also pushing forward in this position. Rest of the bio pulling back from taking out this expansion. Now moving up, they will be trying to flank these Colossus. This is a good spot for him. He's going to stim up and just go straight for those bad boys. At the same time, though, huge warp-ins inside of the main. Charge Zealots and Dark Templar going to start tearing apart the main right now. He's just got so many warp gates. 23. Look at all those warp-ins inside the main. That is hilarious. Oh, he is wreaking havoc right now. QXC taking massive damage in his main. Let's just warp in another 23 Zealots, huh? What do you say? The bio struggling to make its way through the choke point here. Zealots acting as a distraction while the rest continue to push through here, do more damage, take out more of these barracks, and right now QXC's production has been significantly limited here. That really, really hurt him. What an effective warp-in inside of the main. He's got, what, 3 barracks left? It's not good. Got a total of 4. He's got 4 barracks left to produce with. That is not good. Look at all these warp gates. Also continuing to produce those Colossus. He's got this expansion now hidden in this position. Strong economy here for Daisy right now. Got a significant lead over QXC, and wow. Just wow, that is unreal. I did not expect to see that many warp-ins inside of the main. You know, we knew QXC was going to take out these forces here. He had the positioning, but he was definitely not expecting that either. That warp prism that just sat idly for so very long most of this game finally came into effect, and just unreal. We'll take a look at the army size right now. Daisy has his advantage, and it's quite clear as to why. He lost just as much in that last engagement, but the difference here is that QXC lost so much of his production, being now limited to these 4 barracks here, as opposed to the 23 warp gates that we see for Daisy. So Daisy able to just quickly re-up his army, now forcing a lift off there, and is going to kill off that command center. QXC pushes forward to engage here. It's Colossus, High Templar, Archons, and Stalkers against this Bioball, Vikings, and a couple of Ghosts. Ghosts move forward. Those High Templar are still filled with energy. They're going to move forward here, start landing some... Bio pulls back. No storms yet. No storms yet. And QXC just GG's and leaves the game. Unreal. I cannot believe that warping in the main. What a game number 2, and that does it for the series. Daisy takes game number 2 after destroying the production facilities of QXC inside of his main. You know, we saw Daisy lose his forces right outside the natural expansion to this bio push coming from the backside, taking out those Colossus right here. But that gigantic, significant warp-in the main was more than enough to cripple the upcoming army there for QXC and make for the victory for Daisy. Thanks for watching the series, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thanks again. Keep watching. Keep owning.